Hi friends, today we're doing Unit 4, Lesson 8, Julius Caesar, Great Fighter, Great Writer. We're going to start by going over some of the key vocabulary words that you'll be hearing in today's reading. Our first word is alliance, which is a group of people who share common goals and agree to work together. Our next word is compromise, to settle a disagreement by both sides giving up something they want. Our next word is crude, uncivilized and not knowing how to act properly. Our next word is feud, a fight between people or families that lasts for a long time. And our last word is negotiate, to bargain or to come to an agreement. We are now going to move into today's reading, which you can find in your small reader. Chapter 11, Julius Caesar. You will hear the name Julius Caesar or just Caesar throughout your life. You may have already heard this name many times. Julius Caesar is one of the most famous Romans who ever lived. His full name was Gaius Julius Caesar, and he was born in 100 BCE when the Roman Republic was a little more than 400 years old. Julius Caesar became a soldier at a young age. Originally, he was nominated to become a priest of Jupiter, which was a very powerful religious position in Rome. However, a family feud erupted between his family and another important patrician family. As a result, Julius Caesar left Rome and joined the army instead. Julius Caesar was a fine soldier, and he soon became well known throughout the army. For his bravery, he was awarded a civic crown, which was a simple crown made of oak leaves. A civic crown was a very important honor and represented a soldier's bravery. Only very important Romans earned the right to wear one. After a few years in the army, Julius Caesar returned to Rome and became involved in politics. The word politics refers to the activities involved in running a government. In a republic, making laws, going to war, collecting taxes, and other government actions all require agreement between various people in the government. In Rome, the consuls, senators, and other Roman officials all had to work together to try to solve problems. However, when it came to governing the areas Rome controlled, there were always disagreements about what the role of government should be. In order to get things done, politicians formed an alliance with other politicians who agreed with them. In Roman politics, there was power in numbers. If a group of politicians formed an alliance, then together they had an easier time convincing other people to go along with them. Julius Caesar formed a political alliance with another soldier, a very rich man named Pompey. Together they set out to gain the things they wanted, such as land and power. Julius Caesar was elected to a number of special political offices, even though he had as many enemies as he had friends. He worked his way up the political ladder until he finally became one of the two consuls at the top of government. Remember, the consuls had a great deal of power. To keep some of that power under control, the two consuls worked together with a process of checks and balances. They could not take any action until both consuls agreed. If one consul wanted a new law to be passed and the other consul did not like the law, then the two of them would have to negotiate and compromise and make whatever changes were necessary in order to come to an agreement. Consuls served for just 1 year. After that, they often became proconsuls. Proconsuls were often governors of provinces, the lands beyond Italy that the Roman army had conquered. The red areas on this map show Roman territory around the time of Julius Caesar's birth in 100 BCE, shortly after the end of the Punic Wars. You can see that after the Punic Wars, Rome controlled most of the land around the Mediterranean Sea. After this term as consul, Julius Caesar became proconsul of a number of provinces to the north and east of Italy. Julius Caesar was in charge of Rome's northern frontier. As proconsul, he had a number of Roman legions at his command and decided that his job was to use his armies to expand Roman territory farther to the north. In these northern provinces, the Romans built roads, towns, and temples. One of Caesar's jobs as proconsul was to protect Roman property in these areas. Julius Caesar decided it would be a good idea if he went out and conquered these lands for Rome. The only problem was that the areas he wanted to conquer were full of what we considered by some as barbarians. This is what many Romans called some of the people who didn't speak their language and who had a different culture than theirs. The Romans did not consider these people to be an advanced society because they did not have roads, aqueducts, massive marble arenas, or temples. The Romans considered these people to be uncultured. To someone accustomed to the sights and sounds of the vibrant city of Rome and all that Roman civilization had to offer, the homes and lifestyles of those outside of Rome may have seemed crude or unpolished. To the common Roman mind, they would be doing these barbarians a favor by conquering them and forcing them to adopt Roman ways and culture. The people to the north of Rome that the Romans considered barbarians could basically be put into two categories: the Gauls and the Germanic tribes. The Gauls lived in the area of present-day France, and the Germanic tribes were spread across a large area of Central and Northern Europe. Julius Caesar first turned his attention to the Gauls. He spent much of the next 10 years fighting to conquer and control Gaul, but it seemed there was always another Gallic or Germanic tribe to rise up and fight Roman expansion. There were many Gallic tribes, each following its own king, or chieftain, and its own set of laws and customs. The Gauls' way of life was more sophisticated than the Romans expected. The Gallic tribes often traded and cooperated with each other. They had their own money, their own religion, and their own traditional stories, songs, and dances. At the time when Julius Caesar was given the province of Gaul as a proconsul, he needed money to make things happen and to become further recognized. He also needed to show that he was not someone to be pushed around by his enemies. He looked at Gaul as a wonderful opportunity, a massive area of land and people to conquer. He hoped that because they all answered to their own chieftains, the Gauls would be easy to divide and conquer. You may now move on to Unit 4, Lesson 8, Google Form.